Thank you everyone for coming. Now we will read a verse from Bhagavad-Gita and we will discuss a little bit of practical value of this verse for us in our life, our material and spiritual life. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So we are reading a verse from chapter 4 of Bhagavad-Gita. Chapter 4 is called Transcendental Knowledge. So I'll just read the verse. Apichet asipapebhya sarvebhya papakritamaha sarvam jnana plavena vrijjinam santarishyasi. Translation word by word. Api, even. Chet, if. Asi, you are. Vabhebhya, of the sinners. Sarvebhya, of all. Papakritamaha, the greatest sinner. Sarvam, all such sinful reactions. Jnana plavena, by the boat of transcendental knowledge. Eva, certainly. Vrijjinam, the ocean of miseries. Santarishyasi, you will cross completely. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Swami Prabhupada Ki. Translation. Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries.
Which verse is this?
This is 436.
Chapter, sir? Name of the chapter. Page text.
436. Yeah, let me read one more time the translation. Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Shall we wait or just read? Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Anyway, I think it's a very short purport, so let's just read it. Oh, I think it's okay. So purport. Proper understanding of one's constitutional position in relationship to Krishna is so nice that it can at once lift one from the struggle for existence, which goes on in the ocean of nescience. This material world is sometimes regarded as an ocean of nescience and sometimes as a blazing forest. In the ocean, however expert a swimmer one may be, the struggle for existence is very severe. If someone comes forward and lifts the struggling swimmer from the ocean, he is the greatest savior. Perfect knowledge, received from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the path of liberation. The boat of Krishna consciousness is very simple, but at the same time, the most sublime. That's the purport. So one more time. Apichet asipa bebya sarvebya papakrittamaha sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Karamba Karana Swaminiti Namine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschakadeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I want to ask you first, how many of you have Bhagavad-Gita? Very good. How many of you have read Bhagavad-Gita? Okay, most. For those who didn't, that's your homework. Okay? You have to read Bhagavad-Gita. It's a very important book. It's a life-saving thing to read Bhagavad-Gita and to understand Bhagavad-Gita. And how many of you are chanting every day Hare Krishna? Very good. How many of you are chanting 16 rounds every day Hare Krishna? Okay.
6 or 60?
1-6.
Very good. Okay. So, in Bhagavad Gita it is described that in this world, constantly we are experiencing different problems, different sufferings. And it is explained that there are 3 main kinds of suffering that we are meeting in our life. Sometimes every day. Who are those 3? They are known as Adhyatmika, Adidaivika, and Adibhautika. Kṛṣhṇa. Kṛṣhṇa means misery, suffering, problem. So Adhyatmika Kṛṣhṇa means we every day or almost every day, for the younger people less, for the older people more, we experience some problems, some misery, suffering from our body and our mind. The body is constantly making some troubles, isn't it? Even when you go to sleep, we are saying, oh, I'm going to take rest. And you take rest for 8 hours. And when you get up and you're like, oh, I have pain here, I have pain here. So even when you are resting, the body is creating troubles. Yes? Is it true? For the youngs, no. And then, even if the mind is not creating troubles, the body is not creating troubles, the mind is. Sometimes the body is great, everything is okay, you have money in the pocket, But the mind is creating so much tension, isn't it? Thinking this problem, that problem, oh, so much tension. Sometimes the weather is bad, your mind is in a good mood, life is beautiful. And sometimes everything outside is great, nice weather, opportunities just to go out, to relax. But your mind is creating so much troubles, isn't it? So this is one kind of miseries in this material world. Adi Atmika. Miseries from the body and the mind. Then the second kind of misery is Adi Daivika. Sometimes everything is fine, but you go outside and suddenly there is a rain, or hail, or snow, or too much heat. Like our friend Marty, he was telling us, wow, last week we had some amazing temperatures here. If you go in India and tell them about this temperature, they'll just laugh and they'll say, hey, that's our winter, bro. What's your problem? Just relax. But here, like when the temperature becomes like 34, 35, and it's already everyone is panicking, people, they don't know what to do, how to survive. So that's another kind of problem that we meet in this world. Nature is constantly making us struggle. Sometimes too cold, sometimes too hot. All the time, irregularities. Like this year in East Europe, they had a certain cold weather. Nobody was expecting it. Like end of April, beginning of May. And this cold weather killed all the fruit trees. So this year, no cherries, no much strawberries, all these foods, everything was finished. So that's another problem we experience. And then, even if the body is okay, even if the mind is kind of okay, and even if the nature is kind of okay, Adi Bhautika, we'll find another living entity to come and start creating troubles, isn't it? The boy is creating troubles, or the girl is creating troubles, the boss, or the kids, someone. And we are just saying to him, if you are not part of my life, everything would be perfect. Just because of you, I'm suffering so much. But is this true? No, that is not true. We are suffering because of our karma. We did some bad stuff before, and now a certain amount of difficulty, suffering is coming in our life. But anyway, we are experiencing all these sufferings in our life. Now, this verse is explaining something very interesting. There is a saving boat. Within this huge ocean of miseries, of problems, of difficulties, there is a saving boat. And this is the boat of transcendental knowledge. Spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge, the knowledge we are getting from Bhagavad-Gita, it is like a saving boat. It can give us peace. How is that? Well, the knowledge has the power to transform our lives. Is it? Otherwise, why we were going to school? What's the use wasting so much years in school if the knowledge cannot improve the quality of your life? And this is material knowledge. And then what to speak of? Transcendental knowledge or spiritual knowledge. So, knowledge has the power to transform our consciousness. We may be still in this same world, but we are perceiving the world in a different way. And now the world is not so problematic. Why? Because we are seeing the same reality in a different way. Like, for example, we have a watch here. Yes? If we ask this small boy, or that's a girl? Boy. A boy. Okay, we have two small boys. If we ask them what's the time, what are they going to say? Nothing. Why? Why? Huh?
Because they see but not understand.
Yes. They look but they cannot see. Why? Because they don't have knowledge. Nobody trained them. Nobody gave them knowledge. But now you, if you see the watch, you know, oh, it's this and this time. Oh, now it's time for this thing or time for that thing. So you are conscious more about the reality of this world than someone else. So this is what knowledge is giving us. We become conscious. We see the reality, the way how was created by Krishna, by God. Especially when we get spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge. So like that, transcendental knowledge is compared with sailing boat. Now our job is to enter this boat. How do we do that? How do we enter into the boat of transcendental knowledge or Krishna consciousness? You tell me.
Association.
By association, yes, definitely. Like now we come, we get together with other people who have spiritual interest and we feel stronger. Wow, I learned this, I learned that. Yes, I'm encouraged to keep up with my spiritual practice. Okay, what else?
Reading Bhagavad-Gita.
Reading Bhagavad-Gita, so important. Yes, reading spiritual books like Bhagavad-Gita or Bhagavad Purana or Mahabharata also. These books are helping us to understand what is the actual reality. We are getting from them transcendental knowledge, spiritual knowledge. This is very, very, very important. And then, not only reading Bhagavad-Gita, this is the beginning of reading, just reading what is on the pages. Then the second level of reading is contemplating on what you have heard. You read something, now you think, oh, what is the practical value of this knowledge in my life? It's not just about getting the information like at school. Okay, you have to learn by heart this and this, and you learn it, but then what? What's the use of it? No, now grown-up people, mature people, they have to contemplate what is the use of this knowledge in my life. And then the third level of understanding knowledge is applying the knowledge in your practical life. So you read the knowledge, you contemplate, you understand what I can get from this knowledge, and now you apply it in your life. And then it becomes part of you. It becomes part of your life. Then there is a practical value from this. So yes, reading the spiritual books and not only reading them, but applying their wisdom in our daily life. Very good. What else? Understanding
how it is to travel on the boat.
Understanding how it is to travel on the boat. Can you specify more?
You need to know, right, like in which reality it is. Suppose I'll read the Bhagavad-Gita, but then if I don't know what is misery, then I'll be like, okay, why do I need to do this? But then when you understand the misery, then you understand the solution for
Okay.
so understanding boat and ocean.
Yes, that's a good point. I was not expecting this one, but it's a very valid point. So generally when we say what we have to do to get on this spiritual boat, we think of positive things. Oh, we have to associate with spiritual people, we have to read spiritual books. But then what Vishnu is saying, it's also very, very, very practical. So the percentage that we experience the difficulties in the material world will become enthusiastic to take shelter on the transcendental boat of spiritual knowledge. Yes? If we think, oh, my life is perfect, I don't need anything else. Fiesta, enjoying life, then why I have to do it? But the moment we understand, hey, wait a minute, really these sufferings are there and I don't want to go through them, then we become enthusiastic to take shelter of this boat. Very good point. Yes. What else? Find a guru. Okay. Yes. Why do we need a guru? I don't need a guru. I am guru. I am teaching others. Why someone has to teach me?
You need like a expert guidance, like
Even if you are on a boat,
I'll give guidance to myself.
if you're on a boat, you need a guide, an expert guide.
I'm from Holland, I know how to drive boat. Is it so? Or?
To make your learnings easier, I would say.
Yes, definitely. And not only, like, one thing is to drive the boat in the channels of Holland, but once you are outside there, in the Northern Sea, it's a difficult thing. It's a very dangerous thing. You need very expert captain. And if you don't have it, well, even if you know theoretically some stuff, it may work, it may not work. So yes, definitely, you need someone who is very experienced to guide you on the spiritual path. Very nice. What else?
Can we include chanting in this?
Little bit chanting. How much?
Whatever you can do.
As much as you can
much
do.
as.
The more the better.
20%.
Yes? Why chanting is so important?
For me, it calms your mind.
It
brings
calms
the
down your
peace.
mind,
Yeah.
brings peace in our life. Okay, what else?
Eating prasadam.
Okay, but let's just finish with the chanting. Yeah?
I think it's the first step for you to start gaining the focus in the divine.
Okay, brings focus, brings connection with the divine. Yes, definitely. What else?
Thirdly is Nam Sankirtana. So you have Treta, Dvapara,
Oh, that's a very powerful point. Nama Sankirtan, for this age that we are living now, Kali Yuga, this is the best spiritual process to make spiritual advancement. Chanting of the names of God, our absolute truth. Yes, very, very good. Thank you, Mataji. And give me one more reason why we have to chant.
So I see it like this. Whole cosmos is based on vibration, right? So when you chant the name of the God, means you are resonating with the universe vibrations. So that means you are holding on to the hand of God. You can find the courage. That's what I understand it as.
Beautiful. So chanting is actually holding the hand of God, taking the help of God in your life.
Resonating.
Very nice, very beautiful, yes. It's like a radio waves.
Yeah.
The information is there, but now you have to go on the same,
Frequency.
yes. And then you can connect, and then you can get the information, the knowledge. So same thing. Chanting is like you are becoming connected with God. God can talk to you,
Yeah.
and you can hear him, and he can help you. Yes, very nice. Beautiful. And then we have also
Yeah, it fulfills the anchoring of all our desires. It fulfills the
chanting fulfills the hankering of all our desires. Yes, by chanting you can attract the mercy of Krishna. By attracting the mercy of Krishna you can get everything. Because Krishna is the big boss. He has everything. He has property, he has money, he has health, everything. So that's the easiest way to get all your desires fulfilled. Of course, if someone is very, very serious spiritually, Pandava will speak a little bit about this later, but he is not so much interested from material things. He is interested from relationships. Like if you have a very close friend and you have to move from one flat to another flat and you ask your good friend to come and help you, and now at the end you say, "Thank you very much for your help. How much money shall I give you now?" What is your friend going to say? "Are you joking? I'm not doing this for money, I'm doing it for you." It's a question of relationship, it's not a question of business. So when our relationships become very, very deep with Krishna, it's not a question of fulfilling our material desires. Anyway, your friend will give you everything. You have his home, you have his fridge, you have his car, everything. No need to ask for material stuff. It's a question of relationship. It's a question of doing something for Krishna with love and devotion, without anything in return. And asking anything in return. So yes, these things are very helpful. And then we heard prasadam, sanctified food. It's so important because it keeps our consciousness pure. If we eat food which is not prepared from devotees, which is not offered to Krishna, then our food, then this food will gradually contaminate our consciousness. So many material desires will appear in our mind. Lust, anger, greed, all these things, they will start coming in our mind. And then we are thinking, hey, what's happening with me? I'm devotee. I am pure. Why I have all these things in my mind? Well, one reason may be see what's your food. That is very, very, very important. We should try as much as possible to cook for ourselves and eat healthy food which is offered to Krishna, to God, with love and devotion. This will definitely improve the quality of our life and our consciousness. So yeah, by doing all these things, actually we are taking shelter on the boat of transcendental knowledge. And then our life becomes safe. Like when you are in the ocean, if you are on a boat, even if there are big waves, you are safe. Yes? You are in the middle of the ocean, dangerous place. But because you have a boat, you are safe. Then it's easier. Now my question to you is, if we are on this boat and we are in the middle of the ocean, are we going to experience some storms in our life? What do you think? Sure? But why? You are on the boat of transcendental knowledge.
So that your desire to be on the boat increases. I like it.
Wow! That was golden point. Yes, not to decide to jump in and start swimming in a peaceful ocean and some shark comes and eats you. Yes, ocean is a dangerous place, no joke. And even if we are on the boat of transcendental knowledge, some storms will be there. And the storms, they influence the boat, isn't it? The boat starts shaking. Wow, sometimes it can be really dangerous. So in the same way, even if we are practicing Krishna consciousness, sometimes we may feel a little bit the influence of the material energy in our life. This is to be expected. Nothing extraordinary, just normal. But the more we take shelter on this boat, the less we will experience these storms in the material world. What is the safest place on a boat? Someone was traveling on a boat through the ocean. Where do you experience the less the storms? Which part of the boat?
Center.
In the center, yeah. If you're too much back or too much in the front part, what's happening with the boat? When the big wave comes and the boat makes like this and then the boat makes like this. So it's very, if you're on back side or front side, it's very, very, very disturbing. You cannot sleep. Sometimes it's difficult even to eat. But if you're in the center, again you experience something but much less. So this shows that the more we are close to the center of the spiritual practice, of the spiritual life, the less disturbance. And the more we are going to the ending, then it will be more difficult. We will experience more the problems of the material life. In other words, let's be serious about our spiritual life, and then we will see how easy we will be able to go through the difficulties of the material world and how happy we are going to be. Hare Krishna. So now I'll give the word to Pandava Prabhu, who wants to share a few nice things with you on Bhagavad-Gita's wisdom.
It's okay. So maybe you all know this verse from Bhagavad-Gita. Have you heard the verse about the night and the day? What is night? For the common people, it's a day. For the sage, you know this verse? Have you heard of it?
Maybe we can read it.
Yeah, we can read the verse.
It's too maybe.
Anyway, Yanisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagati Samyami Yasyam Jagati Bhutani Sanisha Pashyatomini. So this is the verse, and it's kind of one of these enigmatic verses from Gita, which we may speculate on, but therefore we have the help of Srila Prabhupada and the great acharyas. And they explain that because now we're talking about transcendental knowledge, so the great sages or serious practitioners of Krishna consciousness, when the normal people, they are sleeping and they are unaware of their surroundings, they are awake, they are waking. And that means they practice their spiritual sadhana. And by practicing, they experience the bliss of the Atma, the bliss of the soul. And because they experience this very tangible and strong satisfaction and happiness, they are very convinced and they're very firm on the spiritual path. That's very simple. So everybody can do that. It is not just an exclusive elite club for some special people. Everybody is special because everyone is spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. So every one of us, we can be part of this happy, exalted community of serious practitioners. But we have to be awake when we are supposed to be awake. And this is when? When do we do our practice?
Early in the morning.
Early in the morning. Srila Prabhupada says that 1 hour of reading, let's say Bhagavad-Gita, early in the morning, during Brahma Muhurta, equals 5 hours of reading Bhagavad-Gita during any other part of the day. So just see, I think all of you are very practical persons. That means by putting that much endeavor, let's say 1 unit of endeavor, you would like to acquire as much as possible benefit, right? So
It's like something to tell them, okay, instead of going 8 hours to work during the day, you can come just for 1 hour in the morning to job done.
to get the same salary,
Is it
right?
practical? Is that a good deal? Same money, everything same.
Can you go tell that to my boss, please?
I can suggest, let's see what he'll say.
Even some of the bosses, even they are aware that early in the morning the mind is more productive and the concentration is better. I mean, I don't know how they capitalize on this, but I mean, I'm sure people are aware of that, how they use this different way, different question. Yes.
Just want to give example. I have a good friend of mine in my country. He was like IT person, and he was maintaining the computers of a big bank. And he had to make sure that everything, 8 o'clock, everything is ready. And he figured it out, wait a minute, if I start 7 o'clock from my home, I have to travel for such a long time and I'm wasting so much time. So instead of leaving like, let's say 6:40 or 6:45 from home, he would leave at 6 o'clock. And for 20 minutes he will reach his place. And then until 8 o'clock he will do everything that he has to do for the next 3-4 hours. And then he will just relax. That was his strategy. So he will avoid traffic jam. He will make ready, everything is ready ahead of time. And he'll just relax after that, peaceful life. He said, and all this I achieve it just by getting up early and going earlier to my working place.
Yes, so being practical means you try to get as much as possible for your work. So this is what we are trying to do also in spiritual life. So there is another verse. Well, anyway, let's finish with this one. So we have to be awakened. We have to be conscious, aware, early in the morning, and then the bliss of our spiritual practice will hit us very hard. We'll be very enlightened, and by putting the same amount of endeavor, we will experience much better result. So if you're practical, we should do that. Don't wait, don't sleep in and then wake up late and then try to chant or read. It will be less effective. Okay, it's one thing. Then another meaning of this verse is that by being unaware during different tamasic times of the day, of the day, then the sages, the great personalities, the serious practitioners of Krishna consciousness, they are saving themselves from a lot of trouble. So that's another meaning. And during these tamasic hours, other people, the ordinary people, they are awake. And that means they have to experience now the suffering. That's what happens, actually. They think they are enjoying, they think they are having fun. What actually happens is that they are amassing a serious amount of sinful reactions which they'll have to suffer in the future. We are living next to in Tilburg, next to a bar called Little Devil, and it's a heavy metal gathering of youngsters. I was one of those guys, so that's why when I was young. So I can speak about this because I've been there, I've done that. So they are, while we're trying to sleep, they are 3-4 a.m. they're still making noise and they're thinking they have fun. What actually happens, they are aware, they are awakened when they are supposed to be sleeping and taking rest. Just like if you need to have some surgery, then people take anesthesia, right? Otherwise, if you are awake, then you have to experience the pain. So nobody wants to do that. But if you don't have knowledge, then you will be awakened when it's time to sleep, and you will be sleeping when it's time to be awake, and then to experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness. So this is the meaning of this verse. So let us try to be in knowledge, to practice this knowledge, what we hear. Now let us try to perform our spiritual practice early in the morning, and then you see the effect on you will be tremendous, because it works on everyone. It doesn't mean that it's not necessary that you're a great personality or somebody special. No, anyone will be benefited by this. So let's try to do this, and let's see. Let's make an experiment. Read Bhagavatam or Bhagavad-Gita or any spiritual book by Srila Prabhupada early in the morning. Chant your rounds early in the morning. Let's see. When we meet next time, you tell me what is the result. Another verse I wanted to share, it is from Srimad Bhagavatam. There, Krishna explains to Uddhava, again, in the same line of thought, what is the most practical thing that you can do? The most clever. Dutch people are famous as being very clever. So you all living here, so you must be also clever. This is you acquire this quality by proximity. So clever means, Krishna says, Manisha cha manishinam. Esha buddhimatam buddhir, manisha cha manishinam, yat satyam anriteneha, martyanapnoti mamritam. So what is the most clever and most intelligent thing to do? The most clever, the most intelligent thing is done by the devotees, Krishna says. My devotees, what they do? They sacrifice something that is temporary, their material body. Our material body is full of ignorance. when we chant this prayer before prashanam, what is the prayer? You know what is the meaning? What is what prayer do we chant before eating usually? You know? Sharira avidya. Avidya means ignorance. So the meaning of this, the very first verse is this body is full of ignorance and the senses are network leading to death. That's what we're saying very happily. Sharira vidya jadendriya tayaga, and everybody is but actually what we're saying is this material body is full of ignorance and the senses, material senses are networks that lead to death. And the devotees, Krishna says, they're very clever. They sacrifice what is already temporary and full of ignorance and pain. They give it to me, they offer it to me, and in return they attain the essence of eternity, anamrita, spirituality, me. That's what they get. So you offer something that has no value practically. Your material body, it costs, materially speaking, few dollars. All the chemicals inside that's what they cost. And you get association with Krishna, eternal, blissful, full of knowledge. And Martin apnoti mamritam. Okay, this is one thing. And before that, Krishna says, Yat satyam anriteneha. They attain truth by sacrificing untruth. Like for example, you go with false money, counterfeit money to the store and buy whatever you want. But this money don't have value. But anyway, you get something. Or you are offered a insurance in front of the burning building. That's your building. It's burning already. And the guy comes and says, would you like to sign up a contract? We'll get full refund for this already half-destroyed building. Would you like to sign up this contract? What do you do? Yes? So, this is the deal that Krishna is offering to us. And Krishna says, the Acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains that this is the most essential instruction of Krishna in the whole of Shastra, everywhere. This is the most important thing that Krishna says. And whoever learns this and applies it in his life will shine in the session of the devotees. Because he has understood that the Krishna consciousness is the best deal. You get the best revenue by doing this. Of course, to accept this and to apply it in life, one has to, as Srila Prabhupada says, has to be pessimistic about material life. And this is not easy. We are usually very optimistic about material life and very pessimistic about spiritual life. And it should be the other way around. Very pessimistic about material life. This material body and the bodies of my relatives and friends, they cannot give me happiness. What actually can save me is spiritual Bhakti Yoga, surrendering to Krishna. So it is a process. It cannot be attained right now, straight away, but if we know the goal, then we can strive for it, and ultimately Krishna will give us the reward, which is, what is the biggest reward? It's Krishna's association, Krishna himself. He gives himself to his devotees. He will be our best friend. We'll be able to talk to him just like we're talking now, and we'll be able to sit and take prasad with him, laugh and joke, and perform all kinds of mischievous pastimes with him. But in order to do that, we have to clearly, and how they say in America, loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. What Krishna has to hear something loud and clear from us, and this is Krishna. I give up this illusion, and I want the reality, and the reality that's you. So until we are clear about this, Krishna will not force himself on us. So he'll wait. So this is our process now. We are in this twilight zone. We know that we have the theoretical knowledge, but we are reluctant to apply. So we have to become serious, as Tulsi Prabhu said, to become serious devotees, and then we will be able to santarishasi, that's the word, to cross over the ocean of nations. And the last thing, in Bhagavad-Gita, in the commentaries of the Acharyas, Krishna, we understand that the greatest enemy of the conditioned soul is the acceptance of objects that are pleasing and displeasing. Raga dvesha, icha dvesha. That means we are attached, we like certain objects, personalities, anything, everything that is pleasing to our senses, and we dislike, hate objects, personalities which are displeasing to our senses. Krishna says this is the greatest enemy. And we are supposed to learn the science and the art of being in the material world, being surrounded by material objects, and accepting them in the spirit of detachment, just because this is our duty, without being victim of this attachment and aversion trap that we are very, very used to. And by acting as a matter of duty, without attachment to the result, to please Krishna, then even in the midst of all this material energy and being very active, then we will be not influenced by it. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Yes. Vishnu.
Yeah, so just to understand, suppose say when you are poor, you want to see how it is to be rich, right? Like you want to see the feeling. And then suppose say for example you would like to buy an iPhone as a kid when you are poor, and then when you are actually unable to buy it, you buy it, but then after 1 month you don't feel it like, oh, I am enjoying it anymore, you don't connect to it. So at the time I know that feeling how it is, but then when I am trying to connect to Krishna, suppose by chanting or reading, how do I know what that feeling is? Like, how do I know I am connected to Krishna?
Oh,
how
you
can
know.
I feel it?
You know it. You when this happens, you know it. It just like when you eat. How do you know the cake is tasty? You have to taste it and then you know. You don't. Nobody needs to tell you. Now you're connected to Krishna. You will know it because this is your best friend. He's the most attractive personality. He's the. Krishna is called Anandamaya Purusha. That means he's the personification of bliss. He's bliss personified. So what happens when you connect to a blissful, even in material life, when you happen to have some very exalted friend, materialistic, but he's very energetic, very joyous, very positive person. What happens? You influence, and you are happy to be in his company. And the origin of this is Krishna. When you connect to Krishna, then you feel such intense bliss that these questions, they will disappear. You will know. You know, you don't have to speculate anymore. Just like when you eat, then nobody needs to tell you you enjoy the food. Nobody needs to, you don't doubt, is this tasty? Am I getting rid of hunger? Am I getting nourished? You don't need to speculate. It just happens to you. The thing is that there is a process, a bona fide process, how it's a scientific process, how do you connect to Krishna? And if you follow this process, everything will happen automatically. You don't have to worry anymore. You just try it and see for yourself. Okay, something else?
Give me a few reflections, things that you remember from this class. Martin,
Yes.
what you remember?
Yeah. A lot of things things I really like the point which Pandava made about the best deal. Actually, the most important thing actually Krishna's instruction in Bhagavad-Gita. Yeah.
You like good deals.
Yeah. Oh, that actually also the devotee sacrifices his or her body, which is temporary, but actually gets permanent results. Basically lasts forever. Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. Someone else? Something you will take with you?
Try to do the chanting and the reading of the spiritual book in the morning in the Brahma Muhurt.
Beautiful. Better effect.
Yeah.
Much better effect. Very nice. Okay, what else? Vishnu, what you're going to take with you?
Okay, I have 2 points. First thing, when Prabhu said night and day, so before I read this verse and then I couldn't really grasp it, but then when you're trying to say, along with your example of bank and the person who wakes up early, and now I realize like how can a person who is awake in the day but still sleeping, that means like if he is awake as in the material world he is awake, but then he is sleeping, that means he is numb to the miseries. That's what I can understand from when you said this.
Nice. Very good.
And that was the good taking I had. And then the other one is a small doubt. Like you said, you have to give to Krishna without expecting anything back. But then I see it like I'm going to Krishna because I am not liking this and I want to be happy, or I want to be connected, feel courage, feel everything to Krishna, so that I can be away from this miseries, the ocean of miseries. So without expectation, how can I go? I want something, that's where I'm going, right?
Yes, that's okay. This expectation is okay. The point is that there are 2 kinds of relationship. One kind of relationship is you associate with someone because you love him. And you want to be with him and you want to do something for him, give him pleasure. Then another kind of relationship is you have a relationship, but actually you are just calculating all the time how to use this person for your happiness, for your pleasure. So both is a relationship, but they are not on the same level. Actually, a real relationship means you are trying to do something that will give pleasure to the other person. Understand? Like a wife and a husband. And the husband, he is saying, oh, I love you so much. And then, where is my dinner? Where are my clothes? Yes, this is there. Naturally, service will be part of the relationship. But you're not getting together with this person because he is going to cook for you or because he's going to wash your clothes. This is a side effect of the relationship. This is a side effect, but this is not the essence of the relationship. So in the same way, when we are connecting with Krishna, we shouldn't make calculation that, oh, because now I'm connecting with Krishna and he's the Supreme Lord and he can fulfill all desires. Now I'll get everything I want. It's not about that. But anyway, you are going to get everything that you want, but it's not about that. It's about having deep relationship with the Supreme Lord, who is the greatest person. He's the reservoir of all good qualities. Just by associating with him, you will be completely satisfied and happy. It's different motivation. Is that okay? Sometimes it's difficult to get it in the beginning because we are used to, in this world we are always calculating our relationships. You go, you smile, you do something for the other person, but already you are calculating in your mind what I'm going to get in return. This is a relationship, but it's not really the greatest kind of relationship. It's more like a business in a sense. It's okay? Okay, my last question is, who of all of you is ready to dedicate 10 minutes of his day for Krishna? Are you sure? Okay. So can you kind of promise to yourself that you will try every day to chant one round of Hare Krishna mantra? Can you do it?
Yes.
Beautiful. But this shows that we are doing something for Krishna. When we do one step towards Krishna, He'll make 100 steps towards us. You will see how He'll manifest in our life. So please try to do this. And if you are able to do it regularly every day, you will see how Krishna will reciprocate. And if sometimes you cannot do it for one day, don't worry, just continue. But try to be as serious as possible and you see the result.
Yeah, I have a question related to the point that you mentioned, which impressed me, like what Pandava probably mentioned, about the devotee, the best deal is the devotee to sacrifice the body.
Bandhava, he is the dealer.
So what does it mean exactly to sacrifice? Of course, the devotee doesn't enter a fire, or yeah. So what specifically does this mean?
It means Hrishikena, Hrishikesha, Savanam Bhakti Uchate. It means to use the senses, our senses, to satisfy the senses of Krishna. And that means this can mean many different things according to our nature. It can mean chanting bhajans for Krishna, or doing business for Krishna, or raising family for Krishna, or being monk for Krishna, sannyasi, whatever is your nature, should be done as offering to Krishna. No need to do anything drastic or radical. Of course, when you become like 50, Srila Prabhupada says 60, from 50 onwards one should already start to wind up the material activities and expand the spiritual activities. And this should, Prabhupada said, one should have a good 20 years, only spiritual engagements before one dies. Good 20 years. That means from the age of 50 you should already pretty much wind up with material activities and try to accelerate the spiritual life. Because by the time when you're 70, you should be pretty well established in remembering Krishna 24 hours a day, because now the final exam is very close when you're 70. So it's a very liberal process, very accommodating. At the same time, it is very clearly defining the ultimate goal. So very liberal and very strict at simultaneously. I think we should Prabhu. I think that's.
I think we have to give presents to people that come first time.
Hare
So,
Hare
Hare